Hello everyone, Sodor Railway Studios here. Um, First of all, I just want to thank you all for your immense amount of support with season 1 of Sodor Railway Tales. I want to thank everyone who took time out of their days to watch all 10 episodes of that season when they came out. As of me recording this right now, Oliver's Family Reunion I just uploaded yesterday. And I think that's probably become one of my favorite episodes I've done, because I loved digging into Oliver's backstory with that one and creating my first ever OC character, that being Olivia, who's Oliver's sister. And yeah, you can kind of tell why I decided to call her that. Um, and I want to thank all the people who have lent some of their voices to voice some of the characters in the season. In particular, the Sudrian Zero, who's been a good friend of mine for quite a while now. Also Real Sean Caffrey as well, doesn't who did an amazing job with all the characters he voiced in that season, especially in Toby and Fergus in Fergus's Day Off. Like, I'd argue that was probably the episode where he got to have the biggest role this season. I also want to thank other people like Ashley Menard, who voices most of the female characters in the series, and she is soon to be voicing more in season 2, because I've also cast her as the new voice of Emily in season 2. Because if you guys remember, I actually did the voice of Emily in episode 1 of season 1, which is Emily's grumpy friend. Um, but that was mainly because I hadn't found a voice actor for her yet. So when Ashley said that she thought she might be able to do it for season 2, I decided, yeah, yeah. So Ashley is going to be voicing Emily from season 2 onwards. So it's kind of like how in Detective Duncan, when I did the voice of Luke, and now he's voiced by Jonathan Asurma. So sorry if I butchered that name. So sorry if I butchered your name, Jonathan. I'm really sorry. Um, but yeah, I want to thank everyone for their support and all their work on season 1, like all the people who did voices in season 1. And this is basically going to be an announcement for what's to come in season 2. So for season 2, um, I've already showed the schedule that I've got planned for season 2. But in case people have forgotten what episodes are going to be coming, uh, Trevor's New Whistle is going to be the first episode of season 2, um which is actually a story that the Sudrian A0 suggested. So shout out to him for that. Basically, the story of that episode is going to be similar to Toby's new whistle from season 13. So Trevor ends up having to get a new whistle, and he gets really embarrassed about it, and he ends up having to use it to stop an engine. I'm not going to say who it is, because that will be probably spoil the episode, but I'm just going to say it's not Gordon, because I know that uh, Gordon being the engine that the main character has to stop from crashing is obviously a little bit cliche now that I think about it, because I did that a lot of times in the CGI series. So Gordon is not going to be the engine that Trevor has to stop, but I'm not going to say who it is. Um, Also, the episode after that will be Spencer and the Sparrows, which is another story that the Sudrene Zero suggested. Which is kind of like it's kind of like a sequel to Bird Strike from the Railway series book. Thomas and the Fat Controller's Engines, I believe. Yeah, yeah. So So it's a sequel to Bird Strike, where Spencer ends up being attacked by sparrows, kind of like how Gordon ended up being attacked by crows in Bird Strike. Ugh, excuse me. And Terrence the Bulldozer will be the next part of that, and that story was suggested by William Pulfer Melville, who's another voice actor in the series, so shout out to him for that. And yeah, it kind of speaks for itself, I suppose. It's basically going to be Terrence joining the pack, pretty much, and filling in for Byron. And I find it kind of ironic that William was the one that suggested that story idea, because he's actually going to be voicing Terrence. So quite coincidental, I think. Um, and I've actually finished the scripts for all three of those episodes and have recorded my narrations and voices for them. Um, and I will be giving people their lines for Trevor's new whistle soon. Um, just to let you guys know, because I just can't wait to get started on season 2. There won't be a new intro for it. I'm gonna keep the same intro that I had for season 1, but there there is gonna be a new style for the end credits. So like I'm gonna have a different picture and there's gonna be different music as well. So there's not gonna be like a classic rendition of the engine roll call, or not there's not going to be the Owl House credits theme like I was in Oliver's Family Reunion, because I know Real Sean Caffrey uses that as the end credits music for his series, so I didn't really want to steal his idea. So the Owl House credits theme, that was just a temporary thing, just so you know. Um but yeah, this season is actually going to be quite based on around characters that don't normally get the spotlight. Um because Derek is also going to be getting an episode in this season, in season 2. And yeah, another story suggestion by the Sodor Railway Zero. He suggested quite a lot of story ideas for season 2, I know. Um but that story that I mentioned with Derek. Ugh, sorry, I don't know why I'm yawning all of a sudden. Um that story actually has will actually involve him getting to interact with Rebecca. Because apparently, the Sodrin Zero said in his comment when he suggested it on the post I did about story ideas for Derek, he mentioned that both Derek and Rebecca's class of engines had teething troubles of sorts, even though they are kind of different, because obviously Derek's problem is just the fact that he breaks down all the time, and Rebecca's problem is wheel slip problems. So kind of like Emily in that regard. Actually, I might have to make an episode about Emily with that trait of hers. Actually, maybe I'll save that for season 3. Because I've got all the episodes planned for season 2. So there's also going to be an episode about Arthur, where he gets to interact with Bill and Ben, which that was partially suggested by Real Sean Caffrey. I say partially because he didn't mention Bill and Ben specifically. He just mentioned any any kind of character that was a bit rambunctious or rowdy. And when I thought of that, because um I had a feeling Charlie would most likely be one of those options, but the problem is Charlie changed in episode 3, which was Charlie's big mistake, because I gave Charlie a character arc, because I feel like that was because I felt like the because I feel like him not having a character arc is another reason why most people don't like him. Um so yeah, Bill and Ben are going to be the ones that get to interact with Arthur in that episode. Um Also, uh, Mavis is going to be getting a lead role as well, because she's going to be doing like a flashback story of how like she's going to be doing a flashback of how she came to become Bill and Ben's mentor after Boko left the picture. Don't worry, guys. Boko is still around in my series, but it's just the fact that obviously so basically it's like the flashback will be like a follow up to Heroes, because in my head canon Heroes takes place in season 5 rather than season 3, because it makes more sense for the clay pits to be closed around there, because they were still in operation in double teething troubles. So I think it would make sense for Boko and Derek and Bill and Ben to have to find other work. And Peter Sam is going to be getting a lead role in season 2 as well. So I look forward to that. And yep, Thomas is finally going to be getting a lead role in this season, because you might have noticed that Thomas didn't have any lead roles at all in season 1, which I know is a bit bold of me because he's the main character and whatnot. But sorry, I don't get why I'm yawning so much. But yeah, Thomas's lead role I'm quite excited for. Once again, it was a suggestion from William Paul from Melville, so shout out to him again for suggesting it. So, basically, it will be like a sort of like a mini sequel to Journey Beyond Sodor, because it will involve Thomas having to take a train to Bridlington Goods Yard, and he ends up having to spend the night on the mainland. And the first place he thinks of is the Steelworks, where he met Frankie and Hurricane. So yeah, the Journey Beyond Sodor characters will be appearing in that episode. And before you ask, I have come up with voices for most of them. So Merlin is going to be voiced by Crane Engine Studios, who also voiced the Earl in Millie's Minutes of Fame, which is episode 8 of season 1. William Paul Melville is interested in voicing Theo and Hurricane. And I'm not too sure about Lexi or Frankie, but I imagine I'm probably just going to get Ashley Menard to voice them, because she voices most of the female characters in my series anyway. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching this little announcement for season 2. And once again, I want to give a huge thank you to all the people that contributed to season 1. So shout out to all the people like the Sudrine Zero, Real Sean Caffrey, James the Parody Maker, William Paul Melville, Postman Douglas 2011, Ashley Menard, Jonathan Asurma, Crane Engine Studios, and Jacob JCB as well, who played Percy, and Big Engine Productions, who was James, and loads more people. I want to thank all the people who contributed to the series by lending their voices. I cannot thank you guys enough. It's been a real pleasure working with you guys on season 1 of Sodor Railway Tales, and I cannot wait to work on season 2. So thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you all have a fantastic day.